Images are educational. Video is sensational. All you need, oh, is a little high tech. Hey, yeah, oh, a little high tech. H-I-G-H-T-C-H, this is what you need to see.
This series you're watching is going to be involved primarily with education, and that is singularly the most important use at this time, and it will help you maximize the use of intraoral television in your practice.
Video imaging with an intraoral camera is a powerful case presentation and educational tool. New technologies are now available that can make your presentations even more powerful and understandable. You will learn how you can use inexpensive, standard computer hardware and software to integrate video images with text and graphics into simple, informative, high-impact presentations that patients can understand. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to make your presentations more effective. Once the procedures are in place, an average staff person with average computer knowledge can create a personalized presentation in 5 minutes. I will demonstrate and discuss 3 formats for presentations. A computer presentation that combines video images, patient education, and 35mm slides, a laser printed treatment letter containing these images, and a personalized patient take-home video. First, let's look at the finished computer presentation, then I will show you how to create your own. What you're going to see now is a presentation that was created using Microsoft PowerPoint, a graphics presentation software package that costs a few $100s that's widely used in business. This presentation took about 5 minutes to produce, and we're going to go through it from beginning to end, and then I'll describe to you how the presentation was created. First, notice the initial slide has a photograph of the patient along with information that pertains to the patient. The doctor's name appears at the bottom of all slides, and the patient's name appears at the bottom of all slides. This allows the patient, when she first sits down, to realize that this presentation was personalized for her. Now you'll see a slide about gingivitis that describes for the patient what gingivitis is and how to take care of it. Notice that you can control how these bullets come in. Then you can see another slide with information about a perioprobe that also has text. And you can decide exactly what text to use. This next slide shows a probe in a pocket so a patient can understand all about pockets and what some of the possible solutions are to taking care of pockets. In this particular slide, we're illustrating a fracture to help a patient understand that silver fillings can cause fractures. And again, we describe for the patient what happens. This presentation can either be self-paced or someone can sit with the patient to go through it. What I suggest is that you have the patient go through it by herself, and then you can go through it with the patient, and this gives the patient an opportunity to really understand what you're trying to communicate without any pressure or anxiety surrounding having someone sitting with her. This next slide shows 4 images with fractures. And again, the descriptive text can be customized by you. All I'm doing here is pressing a key on the keyboard to go to the next slide. This image was an actual 35mm slide that was scanned in using a 35mm slide scanner and stored in a digital format in the computer. This means that you can now store your entire library of 35mm slides, or if you obtain slides elsewhere, you can scan them in and use them in your own presentations. You can include movies as well. I'm going to show you some examples of movies which you may not want to use because they're not dental related, but they will illustrate how you can incorporate full motion video into a slide presentation. You can have text which describes what the movie is about. It could be educational, it could be entertainment. You might want to replay your intraoral video tour, including your verbal description. And you can play patient education material. You could easily create your own movies, digitize them on your hard drive, and then play them back when they were needed.
Happy Days is filmed before a live audience.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, live from Arnold's Drive-In and Milwaukee Fried Chicken Stand, You Wanted to See It brings you one of the most exciting events it's ever been our privilege to bring.
What you'll find about movies is that you get full stereophonic sound that's CD quality because the sound is actually recorded on the same CD-ROM that the movie is stored on. This concludes the slide presentation. Now let's look at the various components that make up this slide presentation so that you can create your own. Notice that we have 9 different slides. Here are the first 4, the next 4, and the last one. And these are called thumbnails. They'll show you a very small graphic view of the appearance of each slide. Let's go back to the slide view and start at the very beginning of the presentation. Notice the image here of the patient. I'm going to, first of all, select it, then remove it, so I can show you how easily it's inserted into the slide presentation. We click on Insert, Picture, we have a number of choices here, and we're going to pick the picture of the patient's face. Once it's in place, we can size it and determine where it's going to go on the slide. So the first thing we'll do is shrink it down. Then we'll move it about right here. And there it is. That's how easy it is to put a picture onto a slide. This particular slide was captured from an analog intraoral video camera. The way it got into the digital format was through a product called Snappy. Snappy is a small device that captures images from your camera through a normal kind of video cable that you plug into Snappy on the one end, and this end would plug into the video output of your camera. This part of Snappy plugs into the parallel printer port on your computer. It's the same place where you plug in your printer. Once you have this device in place, you can then capture a video image, freeze it, digitize it, store it on your computer, and put it in a PowerPoint presentation. Let's look at how this works. We happen to have Snappy hooked up to a camera, and I'm going to show you how it looks. That was me talking, captured and digitized on the computer. Let's try that again. This time there's a preview mode. And this is kind of jerky, so you can't use it for full motion video. But you'll notice on this area here that you can actually see what in this case could be a patient's mouth or a tooth or a quadrant. Let me give you an idea of how this might work. And there it is, ready to go. Now, let's say we want to save this and put it in our slide presentation. We say Save. We'll call it Smile. And that's now been saved and stored. So if we go back to our PowerPoint presentation and we want to put some other image in here, as we did before, we say Insert Picture, Smile. And then we can size and decide where we want the picture to go. It's in the presentation. Let's take a look at what that's going to appear as when we actually do the slide presentation. So you can see that this kind of process only takes a few minutes. Doesn't take a whole lot of skill. Even I can do it. And you can create your own slide presentation in seconds. So remember Snappy. What does it cost? Yeah, I know you're thinking, what does it cost? It's $200. You can buy it at just about any computer store anywhere throughout the country. Let's look at the next slide and how this was created. It came from a multimedia patient CDI or CD-ROM disc. It was a simple image on the screen. There's a key on your keyboard called print screen that will capture the image, and then you can easily insert it as a picture into your PowerPoint presentation, which means that if you have a multimedia patient CD-ROM or CDI, you can use all of those images in a personalized presentation. Similarly, this perio probe came from another multimedia CD-ROM patient education software package, as did this illustration. So you now have access to thousands and thousands of graphics, photographs, images, any conceivable visual aid you can think of that you can incorporate into your own personalized presentation. Where did this fracture image come from? This came directly from an analog-based intraoral camera. In this case, it was a new image camera. And this arrow was created in the PowerPoint presentation, so it lets you highlight regions that you want to emphasize for the patient. And it was captured using Snappy. This 4-image graphic also came from a multimedia patient education CDI or CD-ROM. Notice that this image is much larger. You can size the images any way you want. It also came from multimedia CD-ROM and CDI. This next slide is scanned in from a 35mm slide. This is done using a special scanner that I'll show you in a moment that will allow you to put in any 35mm slide, digitize it, and store it on your computer for displaying or incorporating into presentations. This is the original 35mm slide that's resting on the slide scanner. This particular scanner is made by Nikon, and it has 4,000 line resolution, and it plugs right into a special circuit card in your computer. These slide scanners cost between $1,500 and $2,000. Let me give you an idea of how it works. You simply take the slide, put it in the opening, and the scanner does the rest. The whole scan, depending upon how you set the resolution, can take anywhere from 30 seconds to about even 2 minutes if you go at extremely large sizes and high resolution. Here's the scanner. You saw the slide. Here's the final result on the computer. That's all there is to getting 35mm slides scanned into your computer. The second option for using video images to maximize and enhance your case presentations is to use a conventional word processing document and incorporate images that you captured with your intraoral video camera. What you're seeing here is Microsoft Word for Windows. And you're now looking at a document that was very simply created with a grid that has room on the left for text and space on the right for an image. I'm going to page down here so that you can see the second section. You saw the patient's face earlier. This happens to be a tooth with a fracture, and here's some information about it. And at the bottom, you're looking at a large amalgam with some other information about it. Just so you can see this better, I'm going to go and look at this in a full screen mode. And now you can see the basic layout of the document. This works like any conventional word process document, which means you can type anything, anywhere, and then print it out and give it to the patient. Now this particular document, when we print it out on a laser printer, will cost about 6 cents. You can also fold it, mail it, put it in an envelope. And some dentists like the fact that they can write on it. So this could give you a basic outline which you can then use to discuss with the patient and personalize it with your handwritten notes. Let's look at how you can create your own word process document that incorporates visual images and graphics. First, I'm going to remove the ones that were here. I'm going to go to Insert, Picture, find the one that I'm looking for, click on OK, and the picture has been inserted. Go down to the next spot. This is for a fractured tooth. Insert, Picture, find the one that has the fracture in it. There it is. And then go ahead and put it in. Go down to the next spot. Go to Insert, Picture. Find the next tooth I'm looking for here. Click on OK, and there it is. That's all there is to it. You click on Print, and you have the image printed out on your laser printer. Option 3 is a patient take-home video. This gives you an opportunity to create a video exam with your intraoral camera, augment that with intraoral patient education information, and give the patient something which is personalized to his or her needs. This particular video deck is also computer controlled, which means that you can use it to edit and create professional quality videos. It uses a small high 8, Super 8 video type cartridge that goes right into the unit. And then you can then use this to record. It's lightweight and portable. You can transport it from room to room if need be, and then you can transfer the information onto a standard VHS size tape to give the patient. I'm not going to go into much more detail than that now, except to tell you that if you have an interest in pursuing the patient take-home video, the cost to give the patient a video is just a couple of dollars, and it's definitely within the reach of your learning abilities. You have to be interested enough to want to get up on the learning curve to use this kind of video exam and give it to the patient.
The image looks good, like it should. That image looks good now, yeah, just like it should now. My technique can't be beat, intraoral camera. Wow, my practice is good, working like it should now. Patients think I'm great now, 'cause high tech is my fate now. Videos here, the patient's care, intraoral camera. Wow, oral cavity. Girl, they don't look so pretty. Do the work right now. Yeah, they sure look so pretty now. Time has come, fix those gums, intraoral camera. Wow, videos here, the patient's care, intraoral camera. My technique